All right, so the midterm is 50 questions, all multiple choice. Make sure you know how to do the questions from the review, but there are also some questions that aren't on the review that I want to go over with you guys. So some formulas that you need to know. You need to know the vertex formula, so how to find the vertex. It's negative b over 2a. That'll get you to find your h in your vertex. To find the k, you plug it in. And then our vertex form of the equation is y equals a times x minus h squared plus k. So if we find our vertex, or even if the vertex was given to us, you'd plug it into your equation. Remember, you always change the sign of what's on the inside of the parentheses. In the case, you can see it. You also need to know the midpoint formula. So it's the average of the x's and the average of the y's. So x1 plus x2 over 2, comma, y1 plus y2 over 2. You need to know your distance formula. So distance formula is the square root of x2 minus x1 squared, bless you, plus y2 minus y1 squared. You got to know your circle formula. So y equals x minus h squared, actually it's not y equals, I lied. X minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. So the center would be h comma k. And your radius is r. You should know your quadratic formula too. Negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. So these are formulas that you should know that are not given to you. You'll have some that are given. So everything that was given on test 3, I'll give you guys for the review. So the unit circle, the identities, and the sum and difference formulas. I don't think so. Also, I'm going to give you guys the interest formula. So A is equal to P times 1 plus R over N to the power of N times T. This is given, but you guys just need to know what to do with it. And also your A PERT formula. So A is equal to P times E to the power of RT. So you would use the first one if N was compounded a certain amount of times. So if N's compounded quarterly, your N would be 4. If it's compounded monthly, your N would be 12. And then use your PERT formula when it's compounded continuously. Some other things that you need to know for the midterm. So there's not really any questions on the review, but you do need to know how to factor. So factor normally, factor when A is not 1, factor when you have 4 terms. How would you factor when you have 4 terms? Grouping, so make sure you know how to group. I don't think that there's any questions on the review of solving triangles, but you need to know SOHCAHTOA. So if it gives you your opposite and adjacent, you could find tangent, or you could find your hypotenuse using Pythagorean theorem, things like that. So how to solve a triangle. you'll have some trig questions. So just like the last test where you'll have to solve, verify, and find the exact value. Bless you. So just like the last test. You'll have an increasing, decreasing, and constant question. So don't think that it's on the review, but look back at old tests and quizzes or old reviews. Increasing, decreasing, constant. It might give you a graph and say, on what interval is it increasing? And what interval is it decreasing? Something like that. And then also make sure you know how to find the end behavior. So end behavior, we look at the degree. So our leading term, if the degree is even and it's positive, the end behavior goes in the same direction and it would go up if it's positive. If it's even but negative, they both go down. If it's an odd degree, so an odd exponent, and it's positive, your overall slope of the graph would be increasing, so it starts going down and ends going up. If it's negative, the overall slope of the graph would be decreasing, so it starts going up and ends going down. All right, so you need to know everything on the midterm review plus this stuff. So there aren't really questions about these or these. So make sure you look back at old tests, quizzes, homeworks to help you. You can practice these from old test quizzes, homeworks would be helpful. But everything else on the review, you'll see on the midterm. Midterm's 50 questions, all multiple choice.